Here is our daily dose of cope from the Leopards Ate My Face subreddit. So this is titled, And Somehow You're Still a Conservative. This was probably posted in the conservative subreddit. This person who is a conservative says, listen to this post, y'all. Just listen. Real quick trigger warning. He talks about surgery down below. Some people might get triggered by that. Okay, so this person says, my employer uses United Healthcare. I pay $600 a month in premiums for just me and my wife. I have the top tier plan with the lowest deductible, and I still have to pay $2,000 annually in deductibles per person, plus an additional $2,000 out of pocket costs per person before my insurance will even cover 80%. He says, I just had my right foot amputated yesterday. And he's on Reddit today. He had his right foot amputated yesterday, and he's typing this on Reddit. Okay. They also removed my Achilles and replaced it with a long metal spike. They sent me home after a 4-hour surgery because United Healthcare deemed it as an outpatient procedure. They wouldn't even pay to keep me overnight. Bastards. Y'all, I'm going to be honest. When I am taking screenshots, I am skimming these, so I'm not reading it all the way through. I didn't expect that second paragraph to be like that. Like, how are you typing this and you're so calm and you just had your foot amputated? Like, how is this even a thing? But okay, I was just, this one just took me a little by surprise. NorCal Francis says, but isn't this the free market working as intended? I'm sure if the need is great enough, a competitor will enter the marketplace and offer lower rates and better coverage. And the next person says, that's right, the invisible hand of the market. Important ad says, yes, I can feel it all trickling down. And then, oh my God, Horace, save us all, says, don't piss on my leg and call it economics. Ernest Flemingway says, was the whole Americans are against universal health care because they like and want to keep their private plans, just straight up gaslighting? It truly sounds like no one likes the system except the insurers. The whole thing was they didn't want colored folks to get insurance plans. That's all it really was. Like literally they were cutting off their nose to spite their face because somebody that was not white was going to end up with insurance as well. Person behind the screen says, here's the problem. Most Americans agree with liberal or progressive reform, but as soon as they heard a Democrat say it, they hate it. It's strange. People are so eager to argue why a billionaire has more of a right to make billions more than we do to just do slightly better than survive. And then Sneeko hones in on the part where this person says, but as soon as they heard a Democrat say it, they hate it. And says, because for the vast majority of these people, politics is like sports to them, us versus them. Our team must beat their team at all costs, even if those costs hurt us too, or even more than them. They literally do not care what the issue is. It's literally just us versus them. Democrats could come out and say they have a cure for all forms of cancer, AIDS, Alzheimer's, and secret to extending human life to 250 years with perfect health and costs mere pennies. And they still shoot it down simply because it came from the left. It's absolutely effing bonkers. Okay, so this next one is titled, Wait, but I'm one of the good ones that voted or pushed for MAGA. Please, this is cruel. This should be happening to the other people, not me. Okay, here's the article. Missouri lawmaker proposes bounty system to report migrants. Proposal will offer $1,000 for reporting immigrants without proper documents. The law is one of several state-level proposals on immigration. Trump has promised mass deportation for people who immigrated illegally. A bill introduced in Missouri Senate will give residents a $1,000 payout for reporting migrants who entered the country illegally. The proposal is one of at least 7 bills introduced in the state's legislature to focus on immigration, all sponsored by Republican legislators. Senator-elect David Gregory proposed the legislation, which would create an online portal for people to make reports to the State Highway Patrol and be eligible for the payout. Senate Bill 72 would also develop a Missouri illegal alien certified bounty hunter program, which would certify people to be bounty hunters for the specific purpose of finding and detaining immigrants without proper documents. Anyone licensed as a bail bond agent would be eligible to apply for the program. What could go wrong with this? Oh my goodness, this sounds amazing. Anyone detained in Missouri without proper documents, having knowingly entered the state, would be guilty of trespass by an illegal alien. That would mean they could not receive any public benefit, vote in any election, get a permit or license to drive, or ever become a legal resident of the state. The plan comes as there are legal questions over what roles the states play in addressing immigration in an area typically handled by the federal government. What could go wrong with this? What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing. Sounds like a perfect proposal. This person says, we would see people reporting their own family members for this much cash. If you think that's crazy, consider this. Some voters voted for Trump because they thought he would give them another stimulus like they got during COVID. And $1,000, you're going to report your family members for $1,000? That would be crazy. Main ad says, some are stupid enough to believe the stimulus checks came personally from his money because he signed them. And this person says, with a big ass Sharpie signature, that was a thing. I hate that he knew people were that effing stupid, but I'm still struggling to internalize the truth of that. Okay, this is the next post. This person says, my mom's landlord has been let down by the former president he put all his faith in. So sad. All right, screenshot of the message says, he then started going on about problems he has with squatters and a former president I put all my faith in, and in the last 3 weeks found out he's the biggest liar and crook in the history of the world. He just found out that he's a liar and a crook. He's also a fraudster and a felon, but maybe he didn't see that on Fox. He says, I'm not naming names, but I would have been better off voting for a black lady. So, okay, he would have been better. Yes, we all would have been better. But some people are so racist that they couldn't even see past the fact that she's a black lady and then voted for somebody like Trump. Careless Today says, even at this stage, he refuses to call Harris by name. Black women? He just admitted he is a racist bigot. Celebration One says, he admitted his whole reason for voting Trump is because she is a black woman. Queasy Square says, I came to realize that when you see the a-holes who went full maggot, the economy was the bottom of their concerns. They wanted a white man to get rid of all the migrants, never once considering why they're choosing to come here in the first place. Honestly, how many people actually leave their hometowns or states for an entirely different country? You got to be pretty desperate for a change to do such a thing, especially knowing you may not be welcomed with open arms upon getting there. But I'm looking forward to them having to cook for themselves once the cooks at their favorite restaurants are taken away. Duju says the economy was the PC version of the answer on why they voted for Trump. I find it interesting how as soon as they say they voted for Trump, they have to over-explain why they voted for him. If you cared about the economy, you would vote for the administration that brought down inflation and created infrastructure jobs, the people who limited random fees credit card and airlines can charge, who increased food stamps and reduced overdraft fees. If you cared about the economy, you'd be pro-immigration because immigrants add economic value to regions they move into while committing less crime than the average citizens. Yeah, and if you do care about economies, you would have listened when he said tariffs and then looked up what tariffs were and then remembered what all happened when he did the first trade war. And then when you think about deporting, a third of the labor market in some areas, yeah, you could see that that might also hurt the economy as well. Now on to a screenshot from this post from Donald Trump Jr. saying, internet, do your thing and find this guy. And he posted these pictures of this guy that they're looking for who took out CEO Brian Thompson. And this was titled, Bro really thinks we're going to snitch on him. I do think millionaires and billionaires are hand-wringing and nervous and stressed because if this type of mindset takes hold, yeah, they know that people might come for them as well. But this person says this is the internet right now, just blind and not looking for that man. And even if they did see that man, they wouldn't see that man. DJ Amp says, I got to think that CEO dude is saving America. This is the most I've seen Republicans and Democrats come together on an issue in the last decade. And with that, that ends today's session of The Leopards Ate My Face, FAFO, and all of that. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all of these. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I was sent this post and tagged in this post. And after I read it, I'm like, yes, we need to talk about this. It was posted in the 2X Preppers subreddit. She says, becoming alienated from my husband because he thinks my fears in prepping are ridiculous. She says, I can't figure out if he's just being a head in the sand type of person or actually thinks everything is going to be okay for him. I'm absolutely terrified about the direction the U.S. seems to be going full throttle. The hatred towards women and rights being taken away is obvious and undeniable, not to mention how terrifying a totally incompetent administration will be with bird flu and economic collapse as very real threats. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I'm constantly trying to figure out how I can protect her and keep her safe. If I talk about any of this to my husband, who I've been with for 16 years and has historically been an excellent husband in most ways, he instantly gets really condescending and dismissive. Like I asked him, should we think about moving our retirement money from the stock market to something more stable? Instant condescension, with him saying dismissive cliche things like, if the US stock market collapses, we'll have bigger problems to worry about. Okay, so let's talk about those things and see if we can prepare for them in any way. But no, he wants to act like I'm a histrionic idiot instead. I've been prepping in secret as best I can because he thinks all of it is ridiculous. If I talk about disasters that could happen, bird flu, war, martial law, supply chain issues, loss of infrastructure, etc., he also will offer up some derisive one-liner about how he wouldn't want to survive anyway if things went that badly. Like, okay, you have a kid. If there is a survivable disaster, you're going to look at her in the eye and tell her she has to starve to death because you were too lazy or smug to think about how to keep her safe. I would do anything for an actual partner right now. If he's anxious about work, I'll get up at 3 a.m. and lovingly comfort him, even though he never fails at anything and his fears are far more absurd than mine. But I listen and I care. But if I say everything I read seems to agree that the economy is going to collapse because of anticipated policy decisions, what can we do to protect our family? He is completely insensitive and dismissive, won't even have a conversation except one where he snaps at everything I say. I don't get it. Why not be prepared at all? What is the harm in thinking about it? Part of me fears, despite purporting to be a liberal feminist, he is secretly thrilled that the right wing leadership favors white men and feels like he will benefit personally. Of course, his wife and daughter won't, but he has never ever been someone to think about other people's hardships or to be empathetic. I don't feel like his wife anymore. I feel like I'm co parenting with a stranger while living a completely separate life. He's actually holding me back from trying to keep my child safe. Is anyone going through something similar? I also can't find women in my hyper progressive community to talk about this with. Many are limiting social media for their mental health or just overwhelmed with the day to day of careers and parenting, which I get. But I can't find anyone to take a Krav Maga class with me or even talk about things. Anyway, sorry for the rant. To put a positive spin on it, I'm beyond thrilled to have found this community, and you all are keeping me sane and keeping me going. Thank you for existing and understanding. Honestly, I think she summed it up right here what the issue is. He's okay. He's going to be okay. And he knows that he's going to be okay. And he doesn't care because she said right here, he's never been someone to be empathetic to somebody else. And that's many people's problems. They can't see the issues if it doesn't directly impact them. Like if you're an able bodied, strong white person, you never have to think about a disabled person or a queer person or any person that is non-white. You don't have to think about what they have to do on a day-to-day basis because why should you? You've never looked or you never been in someone else's shoes or even cared enough to ask. So that's him in a nutshell. He doesn't care. He's not a liberal feminist. He hasn't been challenged with anything in his personal life or he hasn't seen anybody challenged in his personal life to ever give a damn. Anybody can say that they're a feminist and love equality and let's fight for some rights. You can say that, but to actually live it is a completely different ballgame. Honestly, in this climate, in the way politics is opening up women's eyes to who they are married with, and the way this woman is preparing and looking ahead, I do not believe that this relationship will last. She's going to be like, am I going to take care of my child or am I going to just go with the flow with this man? And I believe she's going to choose her child. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I'm scrolling Reddit like I do in the morning, and I came across this post in the dating subreddit, and I rolled my eyes so hard I felt like my brain was doing somersaults or something. This woman says, are there any men who still like women who aren't that independent? She says, I'm actually a soft, dependent person. I like a man who takes the lead in the relationship. I dated this guy who told me he likes women who were independent. I am dependent on him, though, whether we want to eat or go somewhere. I just want to be with him. That's what matters. But on his take, I was too clingy for him, hence the reason we didn't last. I just want your take, especially men in here. Do you think I could still find a guy who would like to take the lead on the relationship and like girls who are dependent on them, but only in a certain level? I'm in my late 20s. I have an undergraduate degree and I have a decent work. So it's more emotional and physical aspect. Now, I do know and understand there are still women that expect the men to take the lead and all of that. It's just my feminism just came out of me and it made my eyes roll. It's just like, are you not an adult? Can you not stand up? Are you not able to make your own decisions? Do you need to defer to a peen haver because your brain doesn't work because you don't have a peen? Like, what is it with, but whatever. That is what she said. And, you know, in the social media discourse, some men like this. They act like independent women push everybody away, and modern women are the downfall of all of the world. So there is a whole market for women like this. And so I don't know why she is even remotely having a problem considering the vitriol that independent modern women and feminists get. So why would this woman even be having a problem? Savings Vermicelli says men want some level of support and stimulation from their partner. They don't mind leading, but not literally 24/7 about every single decision. Exhausting. Doing life together as a team is usually a lot more satisfying and attractive when both people contribute. Ask yourself, would you want to be with you? Are you relying on looks to get and keep a man? What do you feel you are offering? Also, why do you need someone in charge of your life? Are you checked out or severely lacking confidence? And she responds with, after reading this, I felt I wasn't confident enough. So much indecisive on things, and I need to change it. I grew up in a country where women are more traditional and conservative, and man leads the relationship, but I dated a man who is a foreigner, so I guess it really differs from culture to culture. I do think I need to work on what I want and what I look for, so thank you for this. Sweet nerd advice says, I think many things are being conflated here. Wanting to spend time with your partner doesn't make you dependent and clingy. Wanting your partner to take the lead and be assertive is more about being more dominant and confident. Wanting your partner to pay for everything, wanting him to fix all your problems, wanting to live carefree while they shoulder all the burdens, that's dependent. These things I would not like because I want a partner, not a child. Icy Relationship says, I think OP meant emotionally dependent. Unfortunately, many people end up being dependent on their partner in that sense. In my case, I had told my ex before we got together that I was clingy, and he was like, oh, that's good. But later on, he couldn't handle it. Basically, I wanted to spend all my time with him. I would tell him everything about my day, or if I had to make a decision, I would ask him for advice, but I would still do it my way anyways. The issue was my day would go according to his mood. If he was happy, I would be too. Honestly, this made me realize that not all men actually end up liking clingy girls. The immature ones definitely don't. Who wants somebody that is clingy? It's just like, come on, get off of me. Go sit over there. Oh my goodness. No, You are not dating a puppy, somebody that needs constant validation and head pats and like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it? Oh my God, that would be annoying. That would be so annoying. But that's me. I can't do clingy. I need you to go over there and do your thing. I'm gonna go over here and do my thing, and then we can come together. We can hang out. Clingy, just yeah, that sounds terrible. Sweet Nerd Advice hones in on the part where she was saying basically, I wanted to spend all my time with him. I would tell him everything about my day, or if I had to make a decision, I would ask him for advice, but I would still do it my way. And then he says, I mean, I feel like this is just called a relationship, and he isn't ready for one. I don't think you need to spend all of your time with somebody to be in a relationship. I think that there should be some balance, spending time alone, spending time with friends and family, and spending time with your significant other. There is a thing called balance. Bianca Bree says every adult needs to be independent to survive unless their existence is being subsidized by parents, etc. Not being able to meet one's basic needs independently is seen by most people as a sign of immaturity and being unable to function as an adult. If by not dependent you mean having a generally more passive approach to life, many folks won't mind, but lacking independence is a whole other issue. But with that being said, there are so many men that come to social media and complain about independent women. So she is right that there are some men that are still looking for this type of thing. It just, I mean, it might not make sense to all of us, but there are some people that want that. Melatini says, this question makes me feel so uncomfortable. Like, how is that a good thing? Think about it. Think about the guy who wants a girl that doesn't have much input and just goes along with whatever he says or wants. What kind of person wants something like that? This is beyond a matter of preference. I just don't see any green flags to this type of dynamic, short or long term. That's how I am. This is how I feel. I feel Melatini precisely in this comment. And then Brilliant Object says, the only man that likes that type of woman are the ones that are abusive. And you don't want somebody controlling you and being abusive. And then the OP says, I'll give you an example of what I think was a breaking point of why we ended things. My date and I went to this place to stay and watch maybe 5 minutes max. But then a woman went straight to us and told us it would be an hour long if we wanted to stay. Me and him was giving the "Are you okay with this?" up to you talk, and now it was pressuring me to do the decision, and I made a decision to stay longer, which we originally didn't plan to be there for a very long time. But a few minutes later, I changed my mind. I told him, "Let's just get out of here." After that day, he told me he wanted someone who was decisive, and I wasn't because I was pressured and think maybe I was too dependent on him to make choices he didn't want to. So she doesn't want to make decisions. That's all it comes down to. She was asked a question and she needs to defer to the man. It sounds exhausting to be with this type of person. It sounds exhausting. But then I am a doer. So this type of thing just, I can't fathom. I can't fathom this. It's like, we're going to go in this direction. If I make a mistake going in this direction, we will shift and go to that direction. We're not going to sit up here and do all this. What do you think? What do you think? Let's just go. We'll figure it out. You all join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Join the conversation, like, comment, share. And if you're not following me, go ahead and smash the follow button.
Take my heart, don't break it. Love me, drew my bones. All this time I wasted. You were right there along. Ooh, 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 right there along. Take my heart, don't break it. Love me, drew my bones. All this time I wasted. You were right there all along.